The human brain is the most complex structure in the known universe. Even though it makes up only about 2% of your body weight, it uses 20% of your energy. But did you know there are things that can potentially damage your brain? Number 4. When you're having a conversation with someone, your brain automatically identifies who's speaking. Your brain is constantly receiving input from your sensory organs, but the majority of this input is filtered out by your thalamus, which is responsible for relaying sensory information to the appropriate areas of the cortex. The thalamus is like a bouncer at a nightclub. It only lets the most important people in. However, sometimes certain stimuli can sneak past the bouncer and make their way to the cortex without being identified. This happens when you are daydreaming or focusing on something else. In these cases, your brain will automatically identify the stimulus, and then you can focus on it consciously. For example, if someone calls your name while you're daydreaming, your brain will automatically identify the sound as your name. Being called even though you were unconsciously focused on hearing, once you become aware of the sound, you can then decide how to respond. No. 3. You can't smile and breathe at the same time. Have you ever tried to smile and breathe at the same time? It's impossible, isn't it? The reason why is because the muscles that control smiling and breathing are antagonistic. This means that when one muscle is active, the other one has to relax. There are a few ways to get around this limitation, such as forced expiration or forced inspiration, but these methods are not natural and require conscious effort. Forced expiration is when you exhale against a closed airway, such as when you're blowing out a birthday candle. This allows you to take in more air while keeping your mouth open. That's why you can't smile and breathe at the same time? No. 2. Your emotions affect your physical health. Our emotions have a profound effect on our physical health, whether we realize it or not. When we're feeling positive emotions like joy, happiness, and love, our bodies will often feel lighter, more energized, and more resilient. On the other hand, when we're feeling negative emotions like anger, sadness, and fear, our bodies will often feel heavier, more drained, and more prone to illness. There are many studies that have shown that positive emotions can help boost our immune system and improve our overall health, while negative emotions can weaken our immune system and make us more susceptible to disease. One of the best ways to improve our emotional health is to find ways to cultivate more positive emotions in our lives. This can include spending time with loved ones, engaging in activities that bring us joy, and practicing mindfulness and gratitude. Of course, it's also important to find healthy ways to manage negative emotions. This can include exercise, journaling, and talking to someone we trust. By taking care of our emotional health, we can improve our overall well-being and live happier, healthier lives. Number 1. Your heartbeat affects your memory. The hippocampus is also responsible for regulating emotions, which may be why music can evoke such strong emotions in us. Music is also closely tied to our sense of identity. Music is also a form of escapism. Listening to music allows us to escape from the present moment and focus on the lyrics and the melody. This can be especially powerful if the song is about a past relationship or event. When we hear a song that reminds us of a past relationship, we may be transported back to that time in our lives. When we were in love and dating that person, the song becomes a kind of time machine that allows us to relive that experience. Over time, these memories fade away until all that remains is a faint echo of what once was. But when we hear a song that reminds us of that person, the memories come flooding back and we feel like we reliving that period of our lives all over again. Amazing brain facts. The human brain has about 86 billion neurons, each of which can form up to 10,000 connections with other neurons. This means that the human brain has the potential to store an infinite amount of information. For example, it can process visual images faster than the blink of an eye, and it can process auditory information faster than the speed of sound. The human brain is truly an amazing organ. It is capable of storing and processing vast amounts of information. For example, when you learn a new language or skill, new neural pathways are formed in the brain. This is why it is never too late to learn something new. The human brain is truly a remarkable organ. It is capable of storing and processing vast amounts of information, and it is also highly adaptable. This means that it can change and grow in response to new experiences and challenges. For example, when you learn a new language or skill, new neural pathways are formed in the brain. This is why it is never too late to learn something new. Human brain secrets. For example, they have found that the human brain contains a vast network of neurons that are connected by trillions of synapses. These neurons communicate with each other by sending electrical signals across the synapses. Scientists have also discovered that the human brain has the ability to rewire itself. This means that new neural connections can be formed, which allows us to learn new things and adapt to new situations. Did you know that the human brain is 3 times more powerful than a supercomputer? The human brain is capable of making over 200 trillion connections per second. That's faster than the blink of an eye. The human brain uses 20% of the body's energy. Even though it makes up only 2% of the body's weight, the human brain is the most complex object in the known universe. Science Facts 2025. Here are some interesting facts about the human brain from the field of neuroscience. Scientists are developing new brain-computer interfaces that allow people to control prosthetic limbs with their thoughts. Researchers are also making progress in understanding how the brain gives rise to consciousness. One of the biggest breakthroughs in neuroscience in recent years has been the development of CRISPR technology. This new tool allows scientists to edit DNA with unprecedented precision, which has led to the development of new treatments for genetic disorders. Psychology facts. Here are some interesting facts about the human brain from the field of psychology. According to a recent study, optimism is linked to better health and longevity. Negative emotions like anger and resentment, on the other hand, have been linked to a variety of health problems. Another study found that people who are more open to new experiences have more gray matter in their brains. Gray matter is responsible for a variety of important functions, including memory, attention, and decision-making. Finally, a third study found that people who are more extroverted have more white matter in their brains. White matter is responsible for connecting different parts of the brain. It allows different regions of the brain to communicate with each other. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Until next time.